When we think of the internet, most times we tend to picture popular websites, big forums, video sharing platforms, and social media like Reddit or YouTube. But not every part of the world has access to the same websites we do. A notorious example of this is China. Because they have heavy censorship laws, most websites on the other side of the world are banned. But they do have their own Chinese versions. And today, I will talk about a story centered around the user on Weibo. It's often considered China's alternate version of Twitter, and it's one of their most popular ones, with almost 600 million active users a month. It is about a 19-year-old girl called Zhu Lili. On Weibo, she went by the name Falling Leaves Are Beautiful. Her account was filled with the kind of things you'd expect from someone her age, often talking about her thoughts, or sometimes relatable things, and commonly very inspirational words. For example, on August 20th, 2012, she posted, "The most beautiful scenery is one that leaves the fastest, and the deepest wounds are from the truest feelings." But it was on October 25th, 2012, when she mentioned for the first time her travel to a town called Xitang. "I just went to the travel agency Goofy, and since Afang is a minor, I acted as her guardian. This feeling is so great." In Wuzhen and Xitang, walking along with a tour guide who won't stop talking. It's so annoying. I want to sleep. And then again, the same day, posting a picture of the town. Even though Xitang was beautiful and it is a popular tourist destination, it's not for everyone. It's pretty old, known for its historic buildings and canals connected by stone bridges. But it's also very quaint and pretty quiet. Couple that with an annoying tour guide, Zhu Lili and her group were done for the day and stayed at a nearby inn to rest. The next morning, someone from the group wanted to talk to Lili, but when she entered her room, she couldn't find her. But Lili's wallet, documents, and even her phone were all placed on the bed. So her friend waited, knowing she wouldn't be gone for too long. Or so she thought, because she kept waiting. It was 7 in the morning, and Lili was still not back. So her worried friend called the police. Authorities were quick to check the cameras around the building. They found that at 3 a.m., she left the hotel in her pajamas without her belongings. But they couldn't figure out why, and so police began a search around the whole town, hoping they could find any clues to where she was headed. It was only 2 days after Zhu Lili's initial disappearance when something strange happened. Her Weibo had updated to a new post. "The earth is in motion, and a person will not always be in an unlucky position." A complete surprise to everyone. It seemed like there was a chance that she was still out there somewhere, posting on a different device. Nonetheless, police kept searching. The next day, again, her Weibo had been updated. In ancient times, a sword roamed the world, and now it is a cheap and debauched world. Her parents at this point were a little relieved, because there was a good chance that this was their daughter. The way these posts were worded were very similar to the ones she posted weeks before, and no one else could have used her account since she had left her phone back at the inn. And just like before, the next day on the 31st of October, her account had posted again, except this time it was quickly deleted. Therefore, I am unable to find out what it said. Well, that would be the last time her account was active, because on the morning of November 4th, 8 days after she vanished, sanitation workers were cleaning out a canal near one of the bridges when they discovered a body tangled in aquatic plants. It was Zhu Lili. Her body was blistered and bloated, completely unrecognizable, except for her pajamas that she wore when she went missing. Her time of death was 8 days prior, the morning of the 28th. But something doesn't add up here. How did her account post on Weibo? And who deleted the last post? Police initially thought that she was killed, but there were no injuries on her body, and any suspects who could have been involved were either miles away or had alibis. Her account had also not been logged into by anyone else, so police concluded that she had fallen into the river by accident due to the thick fog that surrounded the town at night. To this day, her posts have never been explained, and no one knows for sure why she left her room that night. Her page is now filled with heartfelt comments wishing her well. I've recently just started watching Star Wars, and I actually quite enjoy it, so I can see why it has such a big following. It has a huge fan base, but the thing is, with every fan base, you have cosplayers who take it one extra step further to show their appreciation for their favorite characters. One of these cosplayers for Star Wars went by the name imflukeskywalker, who had a striking resemblance to Mark Hamill in the recent Star Wars movies. But not only would he dress up as Luke Skywalker in conventions and events, he was very active in charities and fundraisers. We can see this very clearly on his Reddit account, imflukeskywalker. He was very active in Star Wars subreddits and was known as one of the nicest people in the community. One of his first posts on Reddit was this on r/Star Wars. 3 years ago, I volunteered to cosplay Hermit Luke for the first time ever. We raised around $2,000 for a children's hospital. The post received tons of praise in the comments. Amazing. Every word of what you said is amazing. If someone told me it was Mark Hamill in the picture, I wouldn't have given it a second thought. Really impressive. Those lucky kids, getting a pic with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. In another post, he would share that he helped out in setting up a pinball machine for kids recovering and awaiting medical procedures, even showing up on the news.
A familiar tune, complete with strobe lights and sound effects. A true novelty, now in the Ronald McDonald House of Cincinnati, with Luke Skywalker and his team ready to bring smiles to all.
I'll say, I'm not Mark Hamill, and they'll go, okay, Mr. Hamill, can I still get a picture? And you're like, oh, come on.
He calls himself Fluke Skywalker, with an uncanny resemblance to the real one. And it's that uncanny resemblance that has made it possible for him to donate this pinball machine.
He would become so popular that even Mark Hamill mentioned him on social media. It seemed like his love of Star Wars and cosplaying really paid off. And his Reddit history really shows that, with tons of pictures, memes, videos, and comments all about Star Wars and his work with charities. But his last post would be on July 17th, 2023, showing a rainbow he caught on his dashcam while driving in Cincinnati. You see, his work had him going around to different places, especially in Ohio, where he lived. However, this post has much more to it. If you look in the comments, even 2 days after he posted this video, won't be seeing much of that sky anymore, will you, Fluke?
Not guilty.
John Stevens back in front of a Hamilton County judge facing additional charges of pandering sexually oriented material involving a minor. Stevens was well known by some for attending children's events, holding fundraisers where he would support children's charities.
Now, according to Hamilton County Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Chris Lips, Stevens accessed child pornography.
He was watching that at the same hospital he was volunteering at, in front of kids. He was arrested, but only a few months later he took his own life. One of the most liked cosplayers in the Star Wars community ended up being a disgusting human being. And it really shows that you can't fully trust a stranger online, no matter how they might appear. In 2015, a channel called, forgive my Russian, Izvergil Rasulova was created. The channel contains 760 videos, The bulk of them is just camera footage of a wall with some television noise in the background. Sometimes people in the room can be heard as well.
Но тут нет, когда явно, когда они как-то в одной.
These videos all follow the same format, even the video length, stopping at just 15 minutes. The titles are just random, like this one that says this, or this one that simply says, bitch. While most of the videos are like this, some of them are different, and we can uncover a little of what's going on. Keep in mind, I don't know Russian, so I can't fully translate what they are saying, but we can piece everything together by using the auto-generated subtitles. Let's begin with his most popular one. It starts with the channel's creator walking towards a building, presumably his apartment. There he sees his mother, and after some time, they start a back and forth conversation.
Зачем ты вынул замок?
Зачем именно, когда вы поставите замок?
Зачем ты замок вынул, который
She keeps mentioning why he broke the lock that was placed on the door.
из двери?
Да, из
Я
двери.
вынула?
Да.
А зачем я
Я
вставляла?
не знаю. А зачем? Вы вытаскиваете и
Зачем я
вставляете?
вставляла?
А зачем вы 4 месяца дверь открытую держите?
Then he mentions that she beat him up, which we'll find out later that she actually sent people to beat him up.
Еще раз я
Зачем
говорю.
ты с-
Зачем вы избили меня, я еще раз говорю.
С подельником Муратова.
Ага, с подельником Муратовым.
Помнишь, что я случилось?
Это ты?
Then we are told that it wasn't actually him that broke the lock, but her.
Зачем Максютов ломал? Он врет ради вас. Не он ли искал ребят, которые меня сбивали, а, Шамин? А, смешно? Значит, он? А, Шамин? Что-то вы засмеялись как-то нездорово. Может, это все-таки он, Шамин? А? Может, это все-таки он, Шамин? Как вы
Зачем
считаете?
замок вытащил?
А?
Замок зачем вытащил?
Зачем вытащила ты, Елена Шамин, замок? Зачем ты его ломаешь? Зачем Максютов ломал этот замок? Я же весь вас накрыл, подельники.
And then he goes over to a mirror, noticing a powder on it, and that it wasn't there on the day he was beaten up.
Шамин, а чё ж в день преступления, когда меня избили, вот такого порошочка я не наблюдал? А, Шамин? Почему, когда меня избили, такого порошочка не было? Можно я сниму этот порошочек? 17 июля.
Then concluding that she is talking to a police officer who is stealing letters he sends to the minister.
2013 года. Только после того, как я написал письмо министру, что-то начали делать. Но и то такого порошочка не было. Значит, у вас какой-то есть человечек в отделении номер 3 полиции, который крадет письма. И который даже влиятельнее, чем министр. Судя по порошочку, он даже влиятельнее министра. Потому что после
He noticed more powder in the room.
здесь даже.
Then focusing his attention to paintings that were stolen from the kitchen,
Висело, да? Вот здесь висело, Шамина. Все повытаскивали. Здесь вот висело у нас. Да.
and then back to more powder.
А, вот еще. Вот он порошочек. Это порошочек или что? Или свеколка, это я не понимаю.
Then the video ends. This is all a bit confusing, but a user on Reddit provided more context. Hi, I'm a native speaker, but I don't communicate well in English. I took part in the research of the channel with my friend, and we learned a lot about what was happening. There are videos on the channel from which it can be understood that the actions on the channel take place between two main characters, a mother and her son, presumably psychotic. He is the author of the channel. We realized that the son had opened and damaged the lock of the apartment and stole jewelry worth presumably more than 30,000 rubles, which equals $1,000. This is a lot for Russia in 2012. For this reason, the mother participates in lawsuits. We also understood from the channel that the son was beaten by his mother, but according to criminal databases in Russia, we find information that it was the son who beat the mother instead. We have not understood the truth on this issue. We assume that the recordings on the channel are an attempt by the son to accuse the mother of mental illness, as well as of his innocence. We also found 3 more channels of the author, where what is happening concerns other topics, but we still see a conflict between the mother and the son. We're given further information by someone who said that they tried cleaning up fingerprints after the mother called in some people to beat up her son. There are other videos on the channel showcasing these two, like this one.
Что ж вы так быстро прекратили разговор? Не толкаемся, не толкаемся, не толкаемся.
Ой, смешно, ой, смешно.
Отойди от меня, отойди от меня, отойди от меня, отойди от меня, отойди от меня,
Так.
отойди от меня.
And another one where he is calling someone else on the phone, discussing a psychiatric examination on his mother.
Да, с психиатрической экспертизой было бы замечательно, но ее же ведь уже один раз проводили. Там никто же ведь не хочет разбираться глубоко, вот что грустно. С вами можно будет поговорить обстоятельно, да? Вы как бы заинтересованы, да? Но не...
He wouldn't post anything after May, so we're still left with the question of what happened after. I wish I knew Russian so I could understand this a bit better, but it seems like the channel was a way to document the creator's life, as he dealt with a possible legal battle with his mother, or how other comments suggested, some sort of mental illness. Without knowing Russian, it's difficult to piece everything together, and even if we could understand every word, we still might not know what's true. Was this man the victim like the channel portrays, or was it his mother? Or both? Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you want me to make this a series. If you do, drop down any suggestions. I'll be happy to read them. Take care. I'll see you soon.